Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Starring Clark Gregg, Ming-Na Wen, Chloe Bennett, Elizabeth Henstridge, Henry Simmons, Natalia Cordova Buckley, Jeff Ward.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 706. Oh my gosh, Zach has just got home. Hi, Zach.
Hello.
You're live on YouTube. So this episode, let me check oh yes, it says I'm going. Okay, yay. Okay, this episode is called Adapt or Die. It is written by the amazing DJ Doyle and it is directed by APRILL WINNEY, who they are both going to be here. And I'm very excited because they both have amazing stories of how they got to where they are. And I feel like it would be amazing for you guys to be able to hear that because they both just work their socks off. And I feel like if you wanted to, you could follow the same path that they did. Okay, I'm going to read the summary of tonight's episode. It is: after blowing its cover and damaging the Zephyr in the process, the team must scramble to rescue Mac's parents, save S.H.I.E.L.D. from a Chronicom infestation, and fix the ship. Daisy and Sousa are at a disadvantage against Nathaniel Malick. Well, yeah, hello, they got kidnapped. Okay. Zachy, do you need to... Zach's putting the washing on.
No, I'm not putting it on. Shh. We're live. I'm not starting it.
He's not starting it. Also, we're going to have Thomas E. Sullivan on, who plays Nathaniel Malick. He just plays the best. Are your things in there now? They're in there now. Oh my gosh, April!
Hi! Wait, oh, you went away.
Wait, here.
I'm sorry.
So this is
I'm
APRILL
sorry.
WINNEY, the director of this episode. Hello!
Hi.
Oh wait, I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. Really? You can't?
Yeah, I know. Zoom is its whole thing. Oh.
How about now?
Oh, I can't hear you now still.
Okay. No, I'll figure it out. Hi, DJ.
Hi, DJ.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm going to hang out and call back.
Oh no, I can't hear you either. Wait, is it me? Oh wait, speak again, April.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh my God, I think it was me.
Okay.
Hi, DJ.
How y'all doing?
Oh, so good.
April, I'm jealous. You did what I wanted to do, but my Wi-Fi wouldn't reach out to my back deck.
Well,
I
it
like
remains
the
to
outdoor.
yeah, it remains to be seen if it will work, but so far so good.
It looks so pretty.
It isn't. You are seeing the only corner you're allowed to see.
That's all that matters in the age of Zoom.
Pretty
Exactly.
Everything else is just plastic toys and it's awful. You
Oh
can't
my gosh. Well done for surviving.
Thanks. It's good to see you guys.
Good to
Good to
see
see
you
you.
too. We're all in LA, right?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So nobody is watching this. Uh-oh, it started. Oh my gosh, I'm so terrible. Has it? I'm meant to do a countdown each week and I get distracted. Oh, no,
We've distracted
it was a
you.
commercial. No, it was just a commercial. Okay, phew. Because for the people that don't watch this live, which might be quite a few people, because I imagine this is rather distracting if you're trying to watch your favorite TV show, you know. I try to do a countdown and I miss it every week, so sorry about that.
It's the MGM Wizard of Oz trick.
What's that?
It's the whole Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon thing. Like if you play Pink Floyd at the right sync up with Wizard of Oz, it syncs up amazingly, like in a really cool way. Like when the witch comes on for the first time, there's bells going off and stuff.
Oh my God.
But it's on the third roar of the lion. And
I've heard that.
better believe it, I did a lot as a middle schooler, high school.
Oh my gosh, well then it's just like that.
Yes.
So we filmed this episode a long time ago.
Yes.
Oh wait, and now it's starting now.
Okay, you did
That
it.
was not a very good countdown, but press play. All right, sorry. Almost did it. Do you remember anything about this episode?
I definitely had that concern when you asked me to do it. I was like, it's been, kind of close to a year and a half.
Isn't that nuts?
And I thought because, I can't see it. DJ, you can't see it, right? And so if you asked me a question about a scene, I would be like,
oh no.
I know,
well,
now I want,
think
like,
I would.
when it first came up, I was like, oh, I should check out, like, at least refresh myself a little bit. And then I realized, like, yeah, I lost totally all my access to, like, all our post
Oh, did you?
videos.
Oh yeah, oh no.
so
Well, even reading the script, I couldn't really remember filming it. So anyway, I've watched it and it's a very good episode, and we're back. So right now we're with Sybil and she's looking at, well, I don't know if I can say what it is yet, but it's like the threads in between her hands.
Mhm.
So we're in the room now, April, that's all light and white. Yeah. How do you shoot to make that interesting? 'Cause basically it's just a blank space, right?
Right. That's a good question. We had a lot of page count in there. And I remember being told about almost an entire episode that had been shot in there before mine.
Your episode, DJ.
Yeah, you spent
You
a lot.
love
you spent
writing
a
in
lot of
that
time in
room.
there.
You love
Yes.
that space. You love an open white room. I felt so lucky because Kyle Jewell, the DP, he really suggested that we take this big open space with basically 2 people in it and get a crane and just have a whole lot of fun with crane moves and stuff. And I'm so grateful to him for that, because I think it is what really brought the dynamism in those scenes.
Yeah.
But it was tricky. You could get away with a lot though.
Yeah. Continuity is pretty great.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just
Didn't matter if they hit their mark. None of that mattered. You could do anything. It's very
Look
easy.
the right direction for camera, you're golden, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
We just came out of that into another scene inside what looks like maybe the Chronicom ship. And one thing that's throughout this episode is transitions between the scenes. So we just went into a Chronicom's back and then came out of his back.
Yeah.
So a couple questions on that. Number one, DJ, do you ever write thinking of transitions?
We always do. It's mandated for us to at least. It was Jeff, Jed, and Mo are really big about that, and always just wanting to keep everything feeling like it's cohesive, because our stories, one can be in space, one can be on Earth, one can be wherever. Hey, how's it going?
Hey guys, what's up, dude?
Hi.
How's it going?
This is Thomas Sullivan. He plays
Yes.
Malick. Which Malick? Nathaniel. So many of them.
Yes.
Tom DJ was just talking about transitions, because this episode has the most amazing transitions between scenes, and I was asking if that's written into the script or not.
But I have to put a caveat onto that. It's not like there are way too many times where we kind of just throw it to April or whoever's directing and saying, please help us out here because we need a we're mindful of them. We're not always doing our homework.
Right.
So
it's our job as directors. I think transitions are always our job, and it's great if they're written in, and because there's a lot to think about. But you just can't plan a scene without knowing how you're going to get into it and out of it. And so I made sure I always knew. And I remember that one, going through his back and coming out of the guy's back in the. For us, that was just a green screen, basically, that Chronicom ship.
So that's all green screen.
It's a big room with a green screen.
And if I remember correctly, we were real close to the wire on that, because they were still building that set while you were sending everything out. So yeah, you had to kind of.
it was one of those things that was always changing throughout prep. Like we didn't really know what it was going to be until we were shooting it, you know? But that's okay. You know? That's okay. One thing about working on your show in its 7th season, and I mean, what a huge honor that was to come in this 7th season and get to direct an episode there for the first time, was knowing that there was a team of people that would not let you fail. It, you know, yes, okay, so the set wasn't ready. I knew it would be. I knew something would be there.
Yeah.
I knew I had a visual effects team that would be there to help me. I knew I had Kyle Jewell that would be there to help me. So even when you can't totally prep it to the T like you would want to, I knew that I was like in good hands.
Well, and that's amazing, because was this the first episode you ever directed?
No. But it was a big shift for me in terms of genre and scope. It was my first.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we met when you were shadowing Gary Brown, right?
Yeah, I shadowed Gary Brown. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I don't know how you feel, Tom, but April and DJ, like you two made such a great team, because you both just have this attitude of, well, we can do it. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a show that's shot so quickly. Stuff changes all the time. They're giving us new pages, new lines. And you guys were just like so chill.
I mean, to interject, April and I shot all of my scenes for 706 in one day. And it was the most hell or high water day of all time, but it was still so controlled and so focused, and everyone knew what they were supposed to do and where they were supposed to be. And it was exactly what April was saying, that everyone had each other's backs. Coming in as a newcomer into the 7th season, I felt that 110%. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, because Tom, this is your first, like you were in we'll see, but like you're in a lot this episode. This is a big episode for you. I can't believe that it was shot all in one day. Brilliant.
Crazy.
Nothing like it.
That was a stressful day. That was a lot.
It was.
It was a long day. That was a long day.
I was gonna say, like, you're not wrong. That was the hardest day on the episode.
I can imagine.
I'm glad that I projected.
It was also
I was not calm. My insides were like in the fetal position in the corner, like crying because I could only do a stunt once, and it, you know.
Your exterior was cool, calm. You had it.
Thank you.
But the other stress factor was that it was the last day of the episode, which if I'm remembering, so it was we gotta get it, or
it's happening. Yeah.
DJ, remember we got the donut ice cream sundae truck for the crew that day?
That was that same day. Oh my God.
It was that same
we
day.
did so much else. Like in addition to that scene, we did so much else that day.
Yeah. And I was so stressed. And I mean, I probably wanted to eat like 6
oh my God,
like donut ice cream sundaes, but I don't think I ate any because I was so just trying to get the shots we needed. That day was so hard, Thomas. It's so true.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I had the added benefit of that was what I auditioned with, or scenes like that. So I had a degree of familiarity that on another episode I might not have had. So I felt as prepared as I could have, I think. And
you were spot on, no question.
I don't think we've got to the scene that you guys are talking about.
No, it's at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
I really want to.
We'll get there.
It's so good. Yeah. And just to explain the ice cream truck thing. So it's kind of a tradition, right? It's not just on our show that happens, right?
No, almost all shows do it. Yeah.
The last day, the writer and director get some amazing food truck, which it feels like it's a really good idea. But then also it means on your last day, everybody is basically just much more excited about what the food truck is that day.
A lot of like, is it ready? It's like, yeah, we're good.
It isn't always the last day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
It always depends on if you're on location or, I mean, and honestly, you don't usually do it on a day when there's like 200 extras because, it has to be somewhat affordable.
Yeah.
But I don't remember why it fell on the last day for us, but it did.
Yeah. It almost feels like it should be like in the first or second day just to butter everyone up.
Yeah.
Like,
to get on everybody's good side. Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it should. Tom, how was your experience coming to this? Because April, you mentioned about coming in the 7th season, and that is kind of it's great because it's a well-oiled machine, but I imagine it's a bit, dynamics are set and friendships are made and all those things. Like, how was that for you, Tom, coming in?
I mean, it was at times overwhelming, of course, but I think, again, not to beat the dead horse, but with a writer's room and someone like DJ on set at all times to be able to say, no, this is where we think this is going to go, or I love that idea, let's go further with that. I always felt taken care of, even though I was kind of a guest on a body of work that had been going for 7 years. I never felt, I guess that's my point. I never felt like I was intruding. I always felt a part of the larger project. And I think that is because of the support and guidance from the writer's room, from production, from the other castmates. I gotta say, not every network television show, or any television show for that matter, has as supportive a main cast as Agents has. I mean, it was unbelievable, really.
Oh, we just loved you from the first second. We're actually on a big scene of yours now. And the other thing, I think, like, you're coming and playing a Malick. Like, that's just such a huge legacy to just do straight off the bat. And then you're also a baddie. So, you got to meet these people and then just be real mean to him. I mean, you've kidnapped Daisy right now.
Yeah, that was right off the bat. To go back an episode, my very first day on set was when I had to, and I guess I can say 705. I can talk about, right?
Yes. We've seen
when I kidnap Sousa and Daisy, that was my first day on set, first day ever, and I was sweating. All of a sudden, I had to be somewhat impactful, and again, I can't say it enough. Like, I felt as supported then as I did whenever as the last scene today.
Isn't that always the way with the first of things? Like, your first, each of our first, whenever we get someone new on the show, their first day is always almost impossible. And like you, April, this was kind of your first episode in this sci-fi action genre, right? And then
Yes.
This episode has so much in it. DJ, you wrote like absolutely, it's amazing, but it's like, as a first sci-fi episode, this has like stunts, green screen, like how did you do this?
Well, the first episode of TV I ever directed was an episode of The Fosters, and
I love that show.
Yeah,
we spoke about that.
Yeah, it's a very different show, obviously, than Shield, but it was, I think, the hardest episode. At least that was the opinion, that it was the hardest episode, or one of the hardest episodes that had been written to date. And
so classic.
I just saw that as an opportunity for me as a director to make a big impact. So sometimes you get the easy episodes and sometimes you get the hard ones. And my career is built on the hard ones because the easy ones don't make a big splash. So I had no problem. I was excited. And yes, I was nervous. It was my first time with stunts. It was my first time with visual effects, but I wanted to make that switch so bad. I had mainly directed in the kid space and in the family space prior to Shield. And like this, directing the show changed things for me. I directed Siren after that, The 100 after that. Like, it really opened me up to a lot of other shows. And I knew that it stood the opportunity to really change things for me. And so I just prepped my butt off.
Yeah. And you did pre-prep in terms of shadowing Gary, who directs he directed an episode in this season, and we had him on the Zoom, and we were saying then that he directs a lot of the second unit, so he does a lot of stunt and fight directing. So it just shows, I think, a lot of who you are. And I think what's so lovely for people to be able to know is that if you're good at something, like this episode is so brilliantly directed, there's so much work behind that. You don't just wake up one day and you're amazing at direct. Like, you had maybe a pretty comfortable like niche of doing kids and like more family drama, and you decided, I'm going to make life a bit hard for myself and take a risk, like a very public risk, you know, in front of like
Very public
300
risk,
crew
yeah.
members, and go,
Yeah.
I'm going to work my butt off.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, it may be that when I stepped on that set, there was some, oh God, here we go. Like, you know,
Well,
her
I
first
hope
sci-fi
not.
show or whatever, but it didn't feel that way to me. I
Good.
only felt supported, and I
Good.
shadowing helped a lot. I spent, you know, 6 or 7 days with Gary on set in the previous season, and he's a master. It's so effortless for him to direct this show.
Yeah.
And we had great conversations, and I learned a lot for him. And when I was prepping my episode, he was there for me. It should also be said that he did handle some of the bigger fights and stunts in this episode. That's what he does.
Normal, though, and you just don't. You just don't have the time to be able. Oh, a show like
That's
this,
right.
you have to have a second unit. That's for everybody, isn't it?
That's right. And I did have some fights where I learned a lot. Your guys' stunt team is
Oh my god.
phenomenal. I learned a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And on my last day, I thanked them. I'm forgetting their names, but the fight guy.
Yeah.
And then, and the coordinator, I went to them both and said, thank you, you know, for being there for me. I really leaned on you and I appreciated it. And they told me something to the effect of like, that's what they want, rather than somebody who doesn't know what they're doing coming in and acting like they know what they're doing.
Totally.
They appreciated like my candor, and I was involved in terms of story, but I didn't try to like tell them their job either.
Which is so important in everybody's role, right? Of just to go in, and because everybody's experts in their field, and it works the best when you say to the camera guy, I don't know what angle to look like. What do you think? That's like when everybody works well together.
I have to say too, DJ, from the very beginning, I was so comforted by your presence. I think that first meeting, that first concept meeting, because I had not met you before, DJ.
No.
And I would, you know, speak up in terms of concept and look at you, and your eyes told me like, yes. And I just knew from that first meeting, like, oh, DJ and I are making the same episode right out of the gate. And it was always so comfortable working with you. We never like disagreed. Like we were just always on the same page. And I was just comforted by that, you know?
Yeah.
Knowing that I wasn't working against someone, I was like working with someone completely.
Yeah.
I remember that first meeting, and there's definitely like a sigh of relief, because you definitely know like when someone's, you know, the way these shows work and people come in, even like you said, like you're just thrown into a meeting right away and you have very little time to figure out. It's like, what's my next 2 weeks? Like, how's this all going to work out? And it's such a relief and like so exciting where you're like, oh, this is going to be great. And to be fair, I had also looked up your Foster's episode, which was the whole, it was the scavenger hunt, right? And like immediately it was like, oh, okay, cool. This is going to work. And
great.
It's so fun when you're like, you know, you're just like, okay, we're just going to go off to the races. And it was really fun.
Yeah, because as a writer-director duo, you guys spend, I mean, they're long days, especially when you start filming. You're like, how long was your day, Tom, when you had your day that was packed?
I mean, it was, we wrapped at or around 11 o'clock, and we'd been there since 8 or so, right? That's not abnormal.
I mean,
a long day.
They keep a pretty tight lid on overtime on Shield.
Yeah.
That was a big day, so they probably did let us go.
I remember
13,
I remember
14?
People were we were literally down to the minute, you know.
Oh yeah, we were.
You know.
Oh yeah, we were.
Maybe I'm remembering it.
Nope. No, we were. I needed to do that last shot again and was told nope.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It worked out though.
It worked out great. Yeah.
It worked out.
Where did you shoot so we've seen the first bits of your scenes, Tom, and you're kind of in a barn. Was that a set or was that a location?
That was on set, Studio 405, I believe.
Oh my gosh, I never saw that.
Culver City, California.
What was it, DJ? It was
that-
almost like a train car or
Yeah,
something.
it's almost like it was exactly a train car that had been turned into a barn that previous to being a train car had maybe also been an 18-wheeler.
Oh my
I don't know
god.
how many times we've used that.
Okay, cool.
The resourcefulness, you guys.
I was
the
worried.
resourcefulness.
I have to very quickly say hello to the Kettle group chat.
Yeah.
Few different group chats associated with these lives, and one is called Kettle, and so we have to say hi to Kettle group
Hello,
chat.
Kettle.
Lots of
Hi,
people are coming
Kettle.
on the thing. I'm gonna go through to see if there's questions. Oh, people are loving Thomas Sullivan as a name, Tom.
Yes.
It's a name.
Solid
No, I-
name.
No, it really stands out, Thomas. Your name came up to me for another project. You might know what I'm talking about.
I think I do.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't say what, but I immediately knew. I mean, they mentioned it. I was like, yeah, he's awesome. He'd be so ready. Like, absolutely.
If we are talking about the same thing, I'm a dear friend of, I think, the person who
Yes.
I ended up working with, and I couldn't be happier for the peer review. I'm
Yes.
sure that was a blast.
It was.
Good.
That's
I'm
the
sorry
awesome-
that we can't talk about it. I'm sorry that we
So
can't.
curious now.
The next one. Well, the nice thing is that now that we finish the show, there's the opportunity for everybody to like cross paths again and
Absolutely.
work with each other again.
Mm-hmm.
April, in this episode, there's some really fun Coulson May scenes,
Mm-hmm.
and DJ, I feel like maybe that was quite fun to finally get to write, because they haven't really been talking for a while, and that's such a special relationship. How was it to write it, DJ? And then April, did you feel the pressure of directing those scenes?
I mean, we're usually pretty good at letting kind of tension like that build up for a while, so we're pretty patient of like, we'll get to it. But it felt like we had pushed it about as far as possible, and I personally like had some burning questions that I wanted to get out between them and like have them voice, because like I could definitely see frustrations from both of their sides. So I'm trying to think if we had already decided if it was going to come out in this episode, or if I had just kind of push of like, can we talk about this?
Go for it, yeah.
So, but yeah, it was just exciting, and it was just an opportunity for fun for me. But yeah, it's always great when you get those two just like.
I'm
sitting
so
down
sorry,
together.
guys. I have a helicopter.
Oh my gosh, they're after you.
If it circles, I'll mute myself. But
It's probably Gary Brown.
Wondering
right. If he's in a police helicopter, yes. Okay, it's going away. Going away.
Did you have fun shooting those scenes?
I did. I mean, I had fun. I swear I had fun every day. I did like those scenes. I'm a big Clark Gregg fan.
Aren't we all?
And so I was a wee bit intimidated and then immediately wasn't, because he's so lovely.
He is.
And that's they're fun to have on set together because they're so different in the way that they work and the sort of spirit that they bring to the set, and it balances it out nicely. And I mean, Clark is so thoughtful, but fairly serious, and Ming is just never serious and so much fun. And so, I mean, I just loved it. I loved it. You're so talented and great. I really love directing a performance. It's my fate. I mean, it's why I do this job. I mean, the stunts and the visual effects were so fun, but any opportunity I had to really work with an actor was always my favorite. And Clark is that, Clark, he has questions, and I had answers sometimes, and I just enjoyed that. And sometimes I didn't have answers, and sometimes I put DJ in front and said, you answer
the line of fire.
And sometimes I had answers and sometimes I didn't. And this is the ones, like, there was definitely a moment too where I was like, oh, I needed to have thought through this before giving you an answer.
Well, it's hard with Shields.
It's hard. And
hard.
it's ultimately good, because it's always a sign that like someone cares. And like, it's so much nicer to get someone who's drilling down and be like, what do you mean here? What do you want here? Versus just like, yeah, I said my lines. Like,
Totally.
I'll take that every day, every day.
I also think you're selling yourself a little bit short by saying, well, there are some times where I said, and then every time we went to you for a note on this episode particularly, you were so thoughtful in how and deliberate with your response in a way that it just doesn't come naturally to many sets. And
April, I felt like you were definitely one of the people that like directors that I studied were like, oh, how does she deal with actors? Because your approach is really good. Like,
thank you. It's why I do it, and I love it. And you guys didn't. I mean, you're a cast of pros, and you've been playing these roles for a long time. You didn't need a lot, you know. But I remember really helping Jeff with something once, and that was really satisfying to me. And
there's a scene later on in the episode with Sousa, which I remember was an important scene for Enver, and I remember that April, you and him worked on it for a long time, and it ended up being very special. And his
long speech that he gives,
I cannot wait to see it.
Oh my gosh, it's so good, and it's so natural, and it feels like it's mostly one shot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not been on yet, but it's I think
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since April of last year.
Oh, you're gonna love it. I wonder how you'll watch it, because I've loved, I mean, you like DJ and Tom, you'll perhaps have an opinion too, but like watching this season, I felt the most relaxed and the most wanting to celebrate. It's why I'm doing these lives, and just it feels, because so often we're shooting and it's airing, and it feels a bit intrusive sometimes that you're trying to create something and then people already have an opinion, and I don't know, it gets a bit icky for me. But this, I mean, we shot this a year ago. This feels like our baby's grown up.
Yeah.
Does it feel different watching it?
It's been fun to kind of revisit, just because I've, you'll understand this, like having stepped away for so long, it's like a homecoming in a weird way, or like, I think my favorite thing about it, in addition to like kind of forgetting all the details, like it always brings me back to like where I was either in the room or on set, but also like it's definitely like a day where you end up like texting with people, there's like, we have like a 19-person writer's office text chain, and like I'm sure a bunch of them are probably making fun of me right now on it or something. Like, it's like a day where you get to like just catch up with your friends, and it's so nice. So it's like I miss that. That's always great.
Because it's an intense ride shooting a TV show. It's you don't get that much reflection.
It's also very intense having shot it as long ago as it has been now. Like I in the last couple of months, I've woken up in cold sweats over the last 2 episodes going like, do I do a good job? Did I do a good job? And then I'm like, but on the day I felt okay, but it's been so long. And that needy actor in me, validation. So I'm excited to have it finally come to fruition either way, one way or the other.
I know what you mean. That not knowing is sometimes the worst. Well, it's really freaking good. We're back in the barn now. Oh, he's about to do his speech, Sousa.
He nailed it. He nailed it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
that's a scary I was scared of that speech, not for him, but just for that's a speech that can go really wrong in the wrong person's hands. I felt like I trusted him, and like I don't know.
I'll also say Enver and I worked together as I said, my very first day on 705. I immediately thought he'd been there for 10 years. I literally thought that he was part of the wallpaper. He was so professional, so of the world, and so ready to give everything. I couldn't have asked for a better scene partner in any scene, let alone my first. He's an incredible actor.
And the fact that he could just revive Sousa after not playing him for like a couple years?
At least 2 or 3 years, yeah.
And he's just so he's brilliant. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see this right now. Zach, people are
I'm jealous.
Sorry.
I'm messaging everyone. I'm watching it.
Oh.
Everyone.
Zach is my fiance. April, I think maybe you didn't meet him.
I didn't meet him, but I remember that you were engaged.
Oh, did I mention it? Anyway, he's off to the side and he's texting away, and people are talking to him in this group chat.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Zach.
He's the live's biggest fan.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Hey,
I
What's
have
up?
noticed
How's it
that
going?
Kat loves
Hey.
asking where Zach is.
I know, that's what I meant. And then I said, like, get on here, and he was like, oh, I'm already chatting to everybody. So
I'm like right behind the computer on the chat messaging.
Well, this is so exciting that you do this, Elizabeth. That's so cool.
It's very fun.
What a treat for the fans. That's awesome.
well, it came from me just realizing how much access I have to incredible people in this industry. And just if I have a question about how I might approach an audition, or like what TV shows I even like to watch, I have so many people that I can call and ask for advice or whatever. And I just feel like it's such a nice way to, I don't know, maybe share that. And I wanted to ask April, how did you come to direct? Like, maybe that's quite a big question, but it's one that people ask a lot.
Sure. I'll give as succinct of an answer as I can. I was a theater director out of college and directed some plays, then decided I wanted to work in film and television, but had no idea what I was doing. So I took a job as a script supervisor and built a script supervising career in Hollywood. And I did that job, and you three know what that job is.
Oh my gosh, it's, I think, one of the hardest jobs.
It's a hard job, and it's right there on set, and you sit right next to the director all the time. And so I had a front row seat to the craft. I did that job for 15 years, all the while making my own stuff on the side. I made 2 indie features. I kept also directing little things. And then it was on the Fosters. I was the script supervisor on the Fosters, and they knew that I was also a director. And no joke, one day, I did not do it, you guys. One day, the director got food poisoning. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't, or I would have had like a shot list ready or something. I didn't, but right. But like, she got sick and couldn't come, and I got to direct for the day. And it's funny, I was in the van on the way to set, knowing I was going to direct, and I was so scared. And this PA leaned forward in my ear and started singing Eminem's "Lose Yourself." And I just did it, and it went great. And then the Fosters gave me my first episode. Wow. Then they gave me my second episode. Meanwhile, I'm still their script supervisor. They're letting me direct every season. And then I branched out from there in the kids genre, and I directed at the Disney Channel and Amazon Kids and Apple Plus Kids, and spent a long time in the kids world. Got into the ABC Disney Emerging Directors program with all my kids stuff and foster stuff. And then started shadowing. I mean, this was really the show that, it really changed things for me. The ABC Disney program gave me the right relationships, gave me the shadowing opportunity. I hit it off with Gary enough that he gave me an episode, and it really opened me up to like adult content and sci-fi content. And that's a super fun place to be. It's kind of where I am right now.
That's so much hustle. I just love your story, because it's, you took the job that got you in the room in a way, and as a script supervisor, you're on set all day, every day, noting down every single scene, every single shot. Talk about training, but that's, 15 years, and still your passion was there, and you still,
it was always means to directing. It was never supervised to do this forever. It was always script supervised to get me in that chair. And it worked. It finally worked. Yeah. It took a long time, and luckily script supervising is also a great job that also paid my bills, and I liked it. So, I wasn't suffering, but it was a long haul, and
But there is something that is so satisfying about being recognized or promoted from within on a show like this. And I again, not to, make S.H.I.E.L.D. into this utopia, but the writers, and DJ, you can probably corroborate, the writers room had like former PAs that had graduated into full-blown writers who then got their own episodes. Like, I thought Shield and perhaps ABC have more of a culture of promoting from within, which is a very encouraging thing for young artists, especially, to see and to hear you, April, saying that you hustled for as long as you did is incredible. And now you're breaking into something that you had your eye on for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go
Sorry.
on. No,
There
no,
are
go
a
on.
lot of shows that have that culture of bringing up from within, and The Fosters was a big one that did that too. They gave a lot of directors their first episode, a lot of promoting from within, a lot of taking chances. Kyle Jewell, the DP, right? Didn't he start as the second assistant camera?
Yeah.
I mean, and that is such a good feeling, and you're surrounded by people that love you and want you to succeed. It's such a good way to come up.
Yeah. And I think Hollywood is an apprentice industry. If you can get in somehow, if you can get your foot in the door, then, and the hope is that you earn your stripes. You spend, hopefully, maybe not 15 years, but, if you have to be willing to do that, right? To get to your end game. How was your journey in DJ?
It was, I mean, it's pretty similar to what April just said. I mean, I started out, I quit a job that was on the air to come onto Shield during the pilot while they were breaking the pilot as the writer's assistant, which I think I didn't actually explain it last week. It's like you sit in the room with them as they're taking you're taking notes as they're breaking story. And I did that on the pilot. And then thankfully it got picked up to its first season. And then, I mean, like Tom, like you were saying, like Shield has a really good culture of promoting, and they gave me my first script that year. I had been on other shows where for 2 or 3 seasons, like that didn't happen. And so they were just really great about believing in, their talent in the writer's office. So season 2, they promoted me to staff writer, and I was there ever since. And then I think there were 4 or 5 other PAs or assistants that got promoted to either being staffed throughout our 7 seasons or at least got a script. And that's pretty good for a lot of writers' offices. I mean, thankfully we had 7 seasons to be able to do that in, but I mean, we staffed at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assistants. So yeah, I mean, it's a great place to be.
It is so cool. And how did you get to be the writer's assistant to start with?
I was on this show or in general?
I guess on this show, or is there like a database you just kind of apply, or?
Yeah, I kind of worked my way up. Like I got my first job on Heroes actually because they got sued, and they like on the fly. Do you know what an incinerator is? It's like the what's it called, the garbage disposal in a sink. GE makes those. They own NBC. They showed like a competitor chopping off someone's fingers with them. So they got sued like immediately.
That's so intense.
And my friend was the PA there, and he was like, so we had to create a new position because we got into trouble. I'm going to be doing that. Are you interested in applying for my job? Because we need someone like right now. So I was at another job. I just started typing up my resume on the spot. And that was my first break. And then I kind of bounced around with different bosses on different shows, like kind of working up from PA. I did script coordinating for a while. I was like an executive assistant. And then you just have to be in the right place at the right time because there's a lot of times where there's bosses who would love to promote you, but they can't because either their show doesn't get on the air or there's not enough scripts or whatever. And with Shield, like I said, I was on another show. I had just broken up with my girlfriend. She kept the dog.
No.
I was in between apartments.
That is
She deserved it. It was her dog. It would have been wrong. Like Elizabeth, it would be like taking your dog. But
well, then great.
but it was like I was on the show, and I they didn't have a script to give me because I didn't know if they were going to get a third season. So it was like, I have nothing to lose here. So let's take a chance. I mean, it's Marvel. They won't even tell me. They literally would not tell me what show it was.
That's so funny.
It was Untitled Marvel, sign an NDA to go for like an assistant job. I was like, let's try it.
I love it.
And then it was really like this weird inflection point in my life. Like everything changed. It was great. I haven't looked back since. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Marvel is so funny with the secrecy.
Oh my God.
I have all these selfies of me with like the shield, you know, like in the production office and stuff. And I've even to this day, I'm too scared to post one.
You can post it now.
I'm too scared.
Unless it's like from the finale of this season.
No,
and maybe
it's literally just the shield.
You should post it.
I will.
It's the same with when we auditioned for the pilot. We had absolutely no idea, no script, no, just the scenes. You just got the scenes, right, Tom? You didn't get the script.
They were doctored. My scenes were the barn scenes, but they were like
they changed names.
Any reference to like Daisy or anyone was moved out. It was some random person, like powers are changed. Yeah, actually, I remember both of your auditions. Like Elizabeth, your screen test with Ian was like, oh my, that's like. I was just an observer, but it was just like, oh my God, there's something special, like just for this show here. Like, it's like, okay, I get it now. And like Tom, I remember your like audition. It was like, I get who this character is now. Like just with the inflection and like it's so rewarding when you see that like coalesce around like real people.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I made this person up, and there they are.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You are so brilliant, Tom, at just embodying this, like, still complex and flawed, but this baddie that you get. Like, I like him, even though I hate it. Like, he's kidnapped Daisy, my favorite, and I still lean in whenever you're on screen. Like, how do you make a character like that from, what do you have, 2-3 scenes, and that was it?
The scenes, like I said, were doctored in such a way that I remember trying to embody like some kind of like really charismatic used car salesman. Like someone who knew,
that's perfect.
You knew that you didn't want to buy what he was selling, but he just about got you to buy it. You know,
I would buy it 100%.
I don't know. Don't. That was just the inspo for, but I don't know. I don't know if that tracks throughout these 2 episodes, but that was definitely the scenes I got to audition for. That's what made me. Well,
certainly like smooth.
Yeah.
You were like smooth, cool, clear. You were so clear on what you wanted to do and why you wanted to do it, and you felt so justified. And there's just something awesomely terrifying about that type of film, you know.
I also think that the alt history with the Malicks and Nathaniel's kind of like, again, alt universe vendetta like comes into play in a weird way. Like, I think he definitely has a chip on his shoulder, let's say, you know. He was a very fun character to play.
Well, I think too, as an actor, when you make clear choices, they don't necessarily have to be right, just thinking about in an audition, that if you go for it 110%, whoever's watching it, and you're like, April and DJ, you'll be able to say better than me, but like, if you see somebody make a choice, even if it's not the right choice, you go, oh, that's cool, like this feels real. And that's something you can tell that you did. That's interesting. You did that in the audition. And the other person I feel like did that, DJ, is Simon Kassianides when he read Bakshi.
Yeah.
And he just, I mean, do you know this story? You know Simon, right? Have you met?
I met Simon briefly at one of the events, but I haven't.
You guys would be best friends. We have to make this happen.
Yeah.
He sat down at the table read and didn't even know the part he was meant to be. He was just had a few lines in it. Sarah Finn, the casting director, loved him and was like, hey, come and just do this little part. And so he hadn't seen the script, hadn't auditioned for it. And he just said, I was like, it's ride or die, and just went for it, created this crazy cool character, and then did 13 episodes.
Yeah. And mind you, that was a character that was supposed to die. Like, he had death stamped on him. Like, it was like a 1 or 2 episode character. Like, and he just owned it and earned it and kept it until we were like, for plot reasons, we need this to happen, but we don't ever want to let go of him.
No.
Yeah,
I had to kill it.
Yes, you did.
I had to kill him with a special disc.
Grenade, or right? Yeah.
Something, yeah. I remember it was a day that I'm not very good at throwing, and so it was like a frisbee thing. And plus, at that point, Simon and I were very close, are still close friends, but by then we'd got very close. And so it was just that was a day and a half for me. It was scarred in my memory. Luckily, we can blame the writers.
Yes, always.
You can always blame the writers.
That was Drew and Brent, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Tom, when you just thinking about making strong decisions in auditions, do you have that in your mind, or do you just see the character and are just like, well, I might as well go for it?
I mean, it definitely it helps Untold Millions when the writing is such that it makes choices like fall out of the sky, right? But I think generally, yeah, like you always just want to like come in hot and heavy with something like a real point of view, but something as opposed to just reading the words.
Yep.
And again, that's a relatively circumstantial. Like I understand that's not always the case, but that's definitely where I gravitate towards. Is come in with something specific at the very least, and yes, then hope they give you a note. You get the note, and you can.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's That's what I was gonna say. Is I know it's really different now, and things are so often taped, and you're not often with a director in the room. But I love a strong choice. If an actor comes in with a strong choice, the next thing I'm going to look for is directability. And so even if the performance is flawless, sometimes I'll ask for something different just to see that there's some flexibility there. So if you get the chance to get a note or a second read or something,
absolutely.
Showing that you have, a good spectrum of tools as an actor is great.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, you could probably back me up on this, but getting a meaningful note in an audition,
the best. Yeah.
Just melt, just swoon.
We need it. We need the direction as actors.
The lifeblood.
Yeah, it is the lifeblood, totally. Because auditions are strange because it's not how it is on set. You're never.
No, it's not. It's a completely separate skill set.
On your own, yeah. Just to have that connection with someone, as soon as you get the note, it is that like, drinking.
Yeah, that's my not pet peeve, but my where I go to first is like totally. Yeah. Let's go. Go.
Yeah, I'm terrible. You're right. Don't know why I did that.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but you have to know that it isn't always a correction. It isn't saying your initial choice was wrong. It's saying, let's be playful. Can we be playful? Yeah. And try something else. So that's all.
I have a bad habit when getting a note that I will start like doing the facial expressions of whatever the idea of the note is while the director's still talking.
Right. No.
And then they eventually look at me like, is he mocking?
No, I actually love that. In fact, what I love is when I'll give a note to an actor and they'll say the line under their breath with the note that I've given them. They'll kind of like try it on. Yeah, I love that because then I can be like, yes, or no,
before all you want on set is like buy-in.
Yeah.
Is what, DJ? Sorry,
I was saying all you want is like buy-in, especially like you just want to know like it is a collaboration. It's like okay, they're mentally in it. It's exciting versus like,
willingness to pivot on from everybody, from the wardrobe to makeup, to whatever. It's all. Television is a team sport,
For sure. For sure it is.
In the episode right now, we've just got to the bit where Enoch is checking Diana.
Yeah.
I want to say we've revealed her name.
Mhm.
And DJ, I got a text from Mo after
I just
you'd
so did I.
and I got engaged the episode before.
Oh, sorry,
And I name everything, obviously. So I named my engagement ring Diana.
That's right.
That
I
whole
remember
episode,
that.
everyone was like, oh my gosh, how's Diana? Did you bring her in? I was like, yes, I brought her in. She's in a safe in my trailer. And so was that your idea? Was that Mo's? Because I just got a text from Mo being like, hey, we're thinking of, and I was like, oh my gosh, you see like the 3 bubbles of like, hey, can you talk? And then Mo's texting you and you just think, am I about to die or is this good? She was like, how about calling the implant Diana? And I was like, so great.
I loved it.
Anyway, that just came on screen. The other thing that's on right now is Mac, and they're in the Quinjet going back with his parents. This is such an emotional episode for Mac.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, today is Henry's birthday.
Yeah.
Hey.
So happy birthday, Henry.
Happy birthday, Henry.
Happy birthday.
I love the episodes when we get to see Henry really play just that heart-wrenching emotion.
This is a big one for him.
Oh my God. And you just, not that I forget how good he is, but it's just when an actor can just pull it out of the bag like that, it's so amazing to watch. How do you write those scenes, DJ, and kind of push it a bit more because you feel like, oh, this is going to be an actor that can really do this?
In a way, I usually do, and then the note is always pull it back. And I think that's usually smart. I don't know if especially with someone like Henry, who can do so much with his eyes.
Yeah.
And letting him do that and just let it like feel natural. You know, you don't want overly wrought dialogue. I think just in a way, it's almost like less is more because all the emotion is there on his face.
And just trust that.
Yeah.
And that's
I was
direct.
yeah.
Right?
I was honestly almost disappointed that he didn't need more help from me.
Yeah.
You know, like, when the storyline was written and it was all about, you know, his parents, and it was so deep and rich for him, and I was like, yes, I am the director for this. I get to come in and work with him and really help him reach these depths.
Yeah.
You know, no, he needed nothing from me. He was always right there. And that's awesome. And he is so talented, and I think probably doesn't get thought of as, you know, this emotional guy, right? Just because of his size and how intimidating he is, but he really brought it in those scenes. So
it's incredible. And this is now turning into a huge fight scene. How difficult is it to shoot a fight scene like that in such a small space, April? Like, was this one of the ones that you did?
Well, no, this was a Gary Brown day.
Got it. So,
because it really was, that whole thing was one whole day, and we didn't have it in our schedule. So Gary did it, which initially when I found out made me cry because it was so special. Yeah, but honestly, I mean, you guys all know that is what Gary does right there.
Oh my gosh,
you know?
yeah.
I can read the scene and be like, oh, there's this big fight in this giant jet, and then the door opens and some people fly out and there's a fight, and oh, did I give that away too soon?
No.
Okay. Seconds maybe, right? Anyway,
if anything, it just made people look to the screen and
okay, good. Yeah, you should watch the scene. So I mean, ultimately it was absolutely the right choice to have Gary do it. But yeah, that is an entire day. And speaking to like big fights in small spaces, you know,
you would have killed it though. There's just
thank you.
Time you to be able to do it all.
Well,
that's a hard thing.
I have to say, DJ and I watched a rehearsal. Hi, Jeff.
Hey.
Look at all these lovely people.
Look at us, eh?
I like the thematic hat too. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Good.
Patriotic, sports, the whole bit. So
America.
sorry, I interrupted you, April. Please keep
Oh,
going.
it's okay. Oh, I was just saying, DJ and I watched some rehearsals of that fight and had some feedback in terms
that's
of.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We were involved. We talked about some ideas. Like I had an idea for the shot that got us into the fight, where we would tilt down to the sort of robotic arm and then back up to the fight starting. So DJ and I definitely like touched base with all the departments. I spoke with Henry, before it happened. And then I think we wrapped in the green screen room, DJ, the Chronicom Nest, I think.
Yep.
And then I went in and watched the end of the day and I didn't have a single note or anything. I just wanted to kind of, keep tabs on the scene and
Yeah, of course. It's your
watch
episode.
Gary Brown at work and learn so that next time I get a giant fight in a giant ship, I get to do it myself.
I love it. It's always working.
Yeah.
Always learning.
Yeah.
Jeff, you joined at the perfect time because
Hi, Jeff.
Mac is getting on his motorcycle.
I wonder where he's headed.
He's headed somewhere, and you
I say,
after him.
I wonder when he's headed.
Oh.
Wow,
that-
we'll have to wait
that
for
part.
time.
Tom's reaction to that is exactly what I was hoping for.
How dare you?
Grown.
Hey, you guys, wasn't this episode 10 minutes over? Also?
Probably.
There was a lot in it.
DJ, are you drinking
I
Zima?
feel like I'm drinking Q tonic.
Okay,
It
well,
is
feels like
Is it sponsored? Did Q-Tonic sponsor
Should I give it?
your
Please.
Will
presence?
ABC come after me if I do?
Sorry, I interrupted. I just was
Sorry.
wanted to call out your Q-Tonic, which is actually delicious and available in a store near you.
I thought we for sponsorship deals.
Well,
Hmm.
neither here nor there.
We could all have Q-Tonics.
We
Go
could.
ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah,
You
it
were
was,
asking about time, right?
it was over, right? 10 minutes? I'm just
I don't know how.
Was it
it-
10?
I don't know. I don't think you gave it to us 10 minutes.
Oh, maybe
I don't think so.
There's
but-
no way. But I felt like it was a hard one to pull story from because there were so many storylines.
so much.
I remember I
Hard one
changed
to
the
cut
order of some things in my director's cut, which is brazen, but it
Hey.
worked out really
Cool.
well.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Hey,
Just because
fortune-
of that fight
Fortune
and the
favors
location
the
of
brazen,
that
you know?
fight, DJ. I think you remember all those conversations. Anyway, it was so long ago. It's a year and a half ago. I remember nothing.
A year and a half ago.
Are we at the last scene yet?
So we're just in the commercial break before the tag. So no, we're not quite there yet. Which
That
I'm glad
tag.
you're here for, Jeff.
I'm glad you're here too. Do you guys remember where we shot that tag?
On that
You
hill,
remember
on that big
How
hill.
much filmable space we had? Like, that was, and it worked.
But
It's-
why?
you'll
Why
see.
did you have no filmable space?
Because we
Yeah,
were
the
on a
houses or
hill.
something, right?
We were on the hill
Maybe-
behind the stage, and everywhere you looked was
That's on
Los
stage.
Angeles.
Oh wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
you just everywhere you looked was Los Angeles, and it couldn't be Los Angeles.
Modern
And
day
so
LA. Yeah, it was very.
we just had to shoot like down into a tree and up into a sky, and it worked.
And mind you, this is all upstate New York. Like,
Yeah.
That's right.
there's
We
palm
were,
everywhere.
yeah, we were in a tiny park in Culver City.
I remember running up and down.
Yeah,
running
yeah.
Up and down that walkway with the. Oh man.
Oh my gosh,
was
we're
just-
here now.
Well, it's very much,
All the yellow flowers.
Yeah, the yellow flowers. Yeah, we got lucky time of year. We
Yeah,
were really
it's-
lucky.
I remember it was very much to me. It's very much the moment where Marty at the end of Back to the Future 1 runs into wearing the leather jacket and tells Doc, "No, I'm back. I'm back from the future."
Yeah.
And it's like that. It's almost borderline inappropriate, but that's what that was to me.
I mean, it's certainly heroic. We've just seen why it's so heroic.
Elizabeth gets it.
I get it.
I'm so excited. I've never seen it with the visual effects.
Oh my gosh, it's so
So-
good. Maybe the start of a real nice bromance with
Aww.
Deek and Mac.
We'll
Who
see
knows?
next
It sounds
episode,
like they
won't we?
might be up for some kind of excellent adventure.
Oh my gosh, is this the preview for next week?
I did almost wear a T-shirt that would have got me in a lot of trouble.
Yes, I know what you mean. You can come on next week and wear that t-shirt if you want, DJ.
Just hold it up.
I have a question. DJ, have you just been getting cut and ripped in quarantine? Because you look like a svelte, like male model thing
I'm
going
just
on.
What are you
wearing
doing,
black.
DJ?
Just very like, you're very like, whatever, I'm just this writer. I guess this is my episode. What show is this?
My wife and I are very conscientious about working out on our back deck. We're doing Zoom
Oh,
classes.
nice,
We're
nice.
trying to be
You're looking
healthy.
svelte
Love
for
it.
me.
Thank you, sir.
well, you guys did an amazing episode. Tom, you killed it. That day paid off. I can't wait.
I
to
am.
see it.
That
I haven't
day.
seen it yet, and I
Me
can't wait
neither.
because Tom
I haven't
was
seen it
so
either.
good, and he's so good in every episode. I'm very excited for everyone to see it because he's so good.
Yes, West Coasters, 10 o'clock.
Well, I'm excited to see you too, Jeff. You were also awesome in the episode.
Thanks.
I can't
Oh,
wait.
thanks, April. I appreciate
Seriously.
Hey, a lot
You
of
were
Simmons and Deek. that
Yes.
episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I'm not
and you
trying
guys
to-
were particularly lovely to work with. You trio, that was a delight.
That's so
that.
nice. of you to say that,
I
'cause
felt the
Yeah.
same way. This was a really fun episode.
That was a fun episode.
I'm still excited to watch it because I don't
Me
remember
too. Me
what
too.
happens in it, but it's
You
gonna
want
be
to watch
great.
it. When you watch it, make sure you time it with this live, and you
Well,
can have a running commentary.
Right. We'll
Dark side
Start
of the
it.
moon.
As we go over every week, I just want to shout out the West Coast viewers who haven't seen the episode and come here
Yeah.
to hear the behind
Yeah.
the scenes that they don't know. But that's what I love. There.
We haven't spoiled too much. I don't feel.
I don't think so.
But right at the end of every
Right
episode,
in.
you could spoil everything just in case someone's watching this ahead of time.
Yes, but it's like adds to the tension, you know.
That's what makes it fun. It's like, can you spoil it? Can't you? I'm not positive of the rules. But that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I had to call Elizabeth and ask her a couple of things. Am I allowed to say
Am I-
X, Y, and
yeah.
Z? And she was like, no. And I said, oh.
But to be fair, like, what are they going to do to us now? You know.
I don't want to find out. I don't want to.
Such a good point. Yeah.
The
some of it
phrase
was
"you'll
the
never work in this town again."
Quickly before we go, there's been lots of lemons, which means that people love us. Thank you for all the lemons.
Thanks for
Happy
the lemon.
birthday to Amber. It's your birthday next week. Happy birthday to Lindsay.
Happy
Right?
birthday.
Amber and Lindsay. what?
Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday, Henry.
Happy birthday, Henry!
Love you.
Love you.
It was
Henry.
so good to see you all.
Thank you.
Lovely
guys.
seeing
It
you
was so good
all.
to see
Hold
you
on.
all. So fun.
You're
April,
amazing.
Happy
yeah,
anniversary to my
you're a
parents.
heck of a
Happy
heck of a
anniversary
team.
to DJ's parents. What
Thanks,
are their names?
guys.
Lynn and Dan.
Happy
Lynn and
anniversary.
Dan.
Happy
Happy
Doyle.
anniversary.
Lemons to Lynn and Dan.
Lemons to Lynn and Dan. Thank you so
Call
much
them
for watching,
Linens and
everybody.
Dannins.
Thank you
Okay.
guys for coming on. That was
Of
so
course.
fun.
Thanks
Yes.
for putting us together. It's good
Yeah.
to see
Thanks,
all of you.
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Bye,
you
guys.
too.
Love
Thank
y'all
you,
as
Elizabeth,
usual.
for having this.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.